All right, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to Fight Court with myself, Ryan the Mighty Quinn, and King Mo. How you doing, bro?
I am doing pretty good, man. It's late and I'm ready to go, man. How about yourself?
I'm doing good. So let's tell everyone what we're doing right here. Like, this is something that we've actually done forever. I don't know, forever, but we figure that we'd let you in on all the fun. We think of random matchups, usually with comic book characters. Seems that people on YouTube have been taking our idea on that, but right now we're going to stick to just boxing. We're putting together some legendary boxers, one against another, and we're going to talk about who comes out on top. Can't wait to do it. So, Mo, start us off. Who are we going with first? All right, first, how many rounds are we doing with these? Because I know we got to pretend that we're all in the same era where, I understand there's more rounds later on, but how many rounds are we doing?
We'll go title fight, 12 rounds.
Okay.
We're not going 15 because Bakole and the other opponent actually, you know what? We could go 15 for one fight. But
Okay.
actually, you know what? No, we're gonna go 12. Keep it simple. We will keep it 12 because half of the fighters have only gone 12 rounds. And the other half have gone 12 to 15, 10 to 15. So I'm thinking 12 is even.
Split the difference. Yeah, I like it.
Split the difference.
Yeah, I like it. All right. So the first matchup we're looking at is Sugar Ray Leonard, Floyd Mayweather Jr. You know what? Since you're the boxing expert, I'm gonna go first. I don't want anyone to think that I'm building my critique off of Mo. I have my own argument. It's good, and I got it. So since it's 12 rounds, it's gonna be a little different than 15 rounds. However, how I got it going, I have Floyd winning early. I know that Floyd breaks late in his fights usually, but I think at the end of the day, Floyd is a master boxer. He knows when and where he needs to win his rounds. I think he needs to win early. I think he needs to win his rounds early, but it's not going to be enough. I could see him winning rounds 1 through 3, and I could see Sugar Ray mopping up, eventually finding his range, finding his distance, beating around that jab and any counter striking, and landing those slick combinations on the way in and on the way out. Just but like almost like he's in that telephone booth and then he's not like a herky jerky fighter, like how I used to fight like myself, like just stay in that telephone booth and make things small. I have Floyd winning a couple of later rounds. He will adjust later, but overall, I don't think it's even going to be close. I got Sugar Ray winning by unanimous decision.
Interesting. Okay, so my counter to that is I have Floyd winning by a comfortable decision.
Ooh.
And the reason why I say that, for the first reason, if you watch Sugar Ray Leonard versus Floyd Sr., now Floyd Sr. was a little faster with his punches, but he lacked the discipline and the conditioning that his son had. And I think that if you watched in the fight, not that I think, but I saw Floyd Sr. land the shoulder roll counter a few times on Sugar Ray Leonard. I think that Floyd's body attack would be too much. I think Floyd's jab would be too much. I think Floyd's defense and his mental conditioning would be too much for Sugar Ray Leonard. Now, don't get me wrong. Sugar Ray Leonard is a beast. He has fast hands. He has one-punch power. He's quick, slick. He throws great combinations. But I think Floyd's ring IQ, his footwork, his ability to clinch, and his ability to counter would get him the victory. Comfortable. I think 9-3, 8-4, Floyd Mayweather.
Yeah, I had it 8-4 the other way. No, I had it more 7-5, I think. But all right, you bring up the clinch. That's really interesting. So how is that clinch happening? Is that clinch just to keep himself safe, or like that's not what I mean. Like is he going to be using that clinch like if he's losing an exchange, or and is he going to be able to create distance getting away safely off the clinch, or is he waiting for or is like how is that going to work, you think? Because I think that's going to be a key factor in who scores in those rounds is how they get off that clinch.
Well, I think that Floyd would use it offensively as well as defensively.
Okay.
Offensively, for the reason, and once he landed shots, he would clinch Sugar Ray Leonard up to slow him down, to get the break, to make him to offset the rhythm, and to make Sugar Ray Leonard reset his stance and everything. Also, if she could use it defensively and smother him off the shoulder roll, smother, back him up, because people don't realize Floyd Mayweather is pretty strong. You've rarely seen people back him up in the clinch. He holds his ground, and as well as the elbow forearm shiver, he uses that real well. I also think that Floyd's body work is highly underrated. The stabs to the body, his jab. I think his timing would be there. I just think that Floyd is just too smart, too slick, too smooth, and too well conditioned for Sugar Ray Leonard.
Explain what a stab jab is and why it would be effective in this fight.
Well, a stab jab is when you pretty much you have your hands in a fencing motion, right? And you push off your rear leg. Stop, Siri. But and you push off. Actually, okay, you get your hands up in fighter stance. Put your lead hand forward. Now you're gonna drive off your rear leg or your rear toes, right? And stab. Boom. Stab your opponent right in the belly with the jab as you push off your rear foot. And if you watch Floyd, he does it so well that after a while, people start to anticipate the stab jab to the body, and Floyd would feint down low and come up high, left hook, right hand. And then he'd clinch you up sometimes, back you up, and then do some more work, clinch you up, spin you, and bust you up some more. So I think Floyd would just be too smart for Sugar Ray Leonard. Now, Sugar Ray Leonard might be a little faster, might be a little stronger, but Floyd is a lot smarter.
See, I think that Floyd would be effective with that early. I used to use the stab jab to slow people down, so that would be very effective in this fight. You have a point there. That being said, I feel like Sugar Ray would kind of try to get him to show his hand a little bit and try to get him to throw that jab or that stab jab a little bit early to see how he can create angles to get around it. I think he eventually would beat the situation, and I think that he would win the scoring exchange there. So it seems we're in a tie.
My thing is, I'm just not sure. I'm not sure if if Sugar Ray Leonard could deal with Floyd's speed and his slickness. I know he thought Benitez is slick, but Benitez is not Floyd. He's a great, but I feel like Floyd. I think Floyd would beat him comfortably, honestly. But I said it earlier, but that's just me reiterating my stance. I believe that Floyd would just be too smart for this guy.
All right. We'll have to the fans, you're gonna have to decide. Put down what you think. You know what? We gotta give Uncle Jeff a call and get him on here. Maybe he could be our tiebreaker once in a while.
Yeah, we gotta do that. Call Jeff.
Yeah. Maybe we should just do that tomorrow anyway. It's been a while since
we hit him up.
Yeah. All right. Who's the next one we got? You introduce it.
Okay,
and then you go first.
The next fight is Martin Bakole versus Big George Foreman. Now, this is a slugger's dream. Now, and I say that we'll use prime George Foreman before the Rumble in the Jungle. And actually, you know what? 70s George Foreman composite. Now, in my opinion, this fight's a banger. I lean towards Bakole, and I'll tell you why. There's a fight, George Foreman versus Ron Lyle. Now, when I tell you this fight was a banger, a slugfest, this is one of my favorite heavyweight fights behind Ibeabuchi versus David Tua. This fight right here, man, you have two guys, sluggers, slugging it out. And Ron Lyle actually dropped George Foreman twice in this fight. George Foreman had to get off the canvas to come from behind to get the win. But I feel like with George Foreman's style, Bakole would overwhelm him with his volume and his power. Martin Bakole, I think he has the second most punches thrown in the round for the heavyweight division at 146. 146 punches in one round for heavyweight. And that's impressive. He's a high volume. He's a stiff jab. He's a good uppercut. He's a good left hook, right hook. His punch selection is vicious. And when he throws serious heat. He's about 6'6", 280 pounds. Like, I just think that he's a bigger, younger version of George Foreman. Granted, George Foreman had a great jab, but I think Martin Bakole's jab might be a little stiffer and a little longer and a little faster. I think that Martin Bakole's conditioning around that time, Martin Bakole's conditioning is better as well. George Foreman's not, he's a beast, but I think Martin Bakole is a whole different animal. What do you say?
I got Martin Bakole by knockout. I just too many weapons from too many angles, and when you can create angles, the heavyweight division, and like when I was watching him the other day, the jab you can use on working away, but also like George with that big right hand, I think that Bakole comes over with a left hook uppercut right hand. Like, there's one punch power, but having 1-2 punch power like that, that's just going to slowly eat you up. And then even the way he keeps his distance and he can bait fighters in, it's just too much. Maybe it's almost disrespectful to say this, but George might have been a victim of his generation where he can get away with fighting that way. Yeah. But I just can't see him doing it. I can't see him going over on him.
If you watch Carlos Takam versus Martin Bakole, it was actually on the undercard of Fury and Ngannou. There were instances where Carlos Takam was in Bakole's chest and Bakole was on the ropes. Mm-hmm. Chest face to chest, and Bakole was tagging him with short King Kong beat my chest hooks. And I mean, like right now in the heavyweight division, Martin Big Body Bakole is my favorite heavyweight to watch right now. He's amazing to watch. He brings it. Now my favorite heavyweight is my boy Michael Hunter. You know Michael Hunter.
Of course, I know Michael Hunter. He's good. We got to get him on here and talk a little bit.
Now he's the only one. He's the only one to put the blemish on Martin Bakole's record. Yeah. So.
Hey, yeah. I'm gonna put you on the spot right now. Yeah. Remember when you guys were training and he hit you like this, like from behind?
Yeah, I remember that. He's a talent, man. He's very talented.
So talented, man.
Spar with him and train with him and pick his brain. So.
Yeah, and he's a good dude too. So, Michael, I hope you're well, man. I'm gonna find you on Instagram and say what's up.
Yeah, that's what's up.
Yeah, man. So let's think of a fun one. We got a little time. Let's think of a fun one. It doesn't have to be boxing. Okay. Actually, I got an MMA one in mind.
All right.
That I posted something and it gained a lot of heat. I'm very petty with these newer generation of MMA fans. I can't help it, but then I try not to do too much because I don't want to seem like I know more than you, but I do. But anyway, who do you think would win prime BJ Penn versus Khabib?
Prime Khabib.
You think so?
Yeah, because his conditioning, BJ Penn, his conditioning was suspect. He had to get in shape at Colorado Springs, I think before the first BJ Penn fight. I mean, the first GSP fight. He got in shape there. But like other than that, when he fought Diaz, he got outworked. He got outworked versus Ryan Hall. He got submitted. He just he was a victim of his own talent because he was so talented. He could get by off his flexibility and his reflexes and he's strong for his size. He's pretty quick and explosive for his size as well. He had a great chin, but I think that Khabib's discipline, his determination, his grinding style would overwhelm BJ Penn.
BJ suspect conditioning is an understatement for sure, but I felt he never had really a bad issue with it when he was at 155. The only time at 155 he really had an issue with his conditioning was Jens Pulver. Now, granted, being in shape for Khabib and Jens Pulver are two different fighters. But I think stylistically speaking, BJ's a really bad matchup for Khabib because in his prime he was so hard to take down, especially with double legs. He had an interesting style of striking for MMA because he had a solid jab, which would get you by in MMA, and he had really good power punching. And of course, the world-class jiu-jitsu, which at the very least would keep him safe on the ground. I think BJ could pull it off. I think that. I know people are like, oh, you're reaching there, but I think he could pull it off. He's more diverse than Khabib was. Like people forget that. Like I mean, as dominant as Khabib was, he wasn't like he had a template to him, you know. And I think that
It was A class though. It was very consistent.
True. Yeah, and I don't want to downplay it, but I think that BJ could just color outside the lines on him to a victory. Another one, fans, please let us know what you think. We're up for all criticism.
I got one rebuttal to what you said.
Okay.
So with BJ Penn, how do you have cardio issues going up a weight class? Usually you have cardio issues when you're cutting weight and making weight at the weight class you're at. So think about it. If you're going up one weight class, how do you have cardio issues? Think about it.
Because you don't have cardio at all. I mean, I could totally see him eating like shit just to like, oh, it's plus 15. You know, like he's not. There's a big difference. Like, I mean, I know, especially like you wrestle too. You know, instead of people going up in weight, oh, they look at it as plus 15. It's not going up, and that's what he looked at it as plus 15.
But that comes down to discipline, and that's one thing he lacked that Khabib had. Also, Khabib had better training partners. BJ Penn really didn't have that. And if you look at the wrestlers BJ Penn was facing, they're none more on the level of Khabib. As far as wrestling and grappling concerned, the only grappler I could say that BJ Penn has faced that give him a run for his money outside of Ryan Hall was Diaz, GSP. But that's because GSP could wrestle him as well as implement jiu-jitsu techniques to keep him at bay or be safe.
That's true. And Matt Hughes only won one round against him. So, all right. Mo, this was fun. We'll try to do these more.
Yeah.
Fans, let us know what you think. And we'll talk to you next time.